everybody, it's Crohn's Veteran and welcome to episode 2 of Crohn's Veteran Cooking. In this episode we are making a delicious kiwi, watermelon, and tangerine punch. If you want to see more of this content, like and subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks. Alright everybody, we got everything that we need to make our delicious watermelon, tangerine, and golden kiwi punch. And so let's go over all the ingredients and supplies that we need. So we're going to be using about 2 cups of our cut up yellow watermelon over here. We're going to peel apart and take apart these tangerine pieces and use about 2 cups of those. And then for the kiwis, we're going to cut them in half, scoop them out, and use about 2 cups of that also. And to bind all this fruit, which I should remind you, you need to wash and disinfect before you use it to make sure that you can eat it safely. And so to combine all this together, we're going to use about 2 tablespoons of our lime juice and about 2 tablespoons of honey to bring it all together. And then once it's all together, we're going to put everything into our blender here, blend it all up, and to get all the seeds and pulp and everything out to make it a punch, we're gonna strain it all out into our pitcher and then pour it over some ice to enjoy. So let's make it happen. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start working on breaking down our yellow watermelon here. And what I'm using is just a butcher's knife because that's kind of what I've kind of had laying around. We just moved, so I'm using what I got. And so there's kind of a quick and dirty breakdown of the yellow watermelon here. We're gonna break this into big chunks because this is all gonna be going into a measuring cup here soon. And so there's really no reason to make it pretty. But go ahead and break down your yellow watermelon and big chunks, big halves. And then now in the next section here, we're going to go ahead and start separating out from the rind, and so which I've already done. And so now we're going to go ahead and break down the watermelon pieces into maybe about 2 inches each, so that way it can fit easily into the measuring cup, so we actually can get a good cup of fruit, and because if the pieces are too big, it might not be an actual cup. And so the idea is just to make the chunks small enough so we can actually get a two full cups of fruit here. And so as you can see in the video, I've gotten the first cup of yellow watermelon cut up and into the measuring cup. Go ahead and put it into your blender at the bottom here, and then go ahead and then now we're going to go ahead and keep cutting our yellow watermelon into small chunks. And again, there's no reason to make these chunks even or perfect. It's all going into the measuring cup going into the blender. And again, as far as the seeds, don't worry about those either because all those are going to be all those are going to be strained out later also. And as a fun fact, yellow watermelon is the original watermelon going back 5,000 years, and the red watermelons that we know now are something that has been bred into the watermelons later on. And so now we're gonna go ahead and pour our second cup of watermelon in here and move on to our kiwis. And so now you're gonna take your golden kiwis, and I like to cut them directly in half and take a spoon and kind of spoon them out and kind of like a twisting, spooning motion with the spoon in between the fruit and the skin, and then kind of take your thumb and forefinger as you're doing that and push the bottom of the fruit out, and it gives you like a little half of the kiwi, nice and neat. And if you wanted to display that way, you can, but what we're doing is just kind of mushing it up a little bit and putting it into our measuring cup here so we can get, again, a good clean cup of fruit. And for those people that don't know, the reason I like using golden kiwis is out of the red kiwis, the green kiwis, and the golden kiwis, the golden kiwis have kind of this they're kind of best for digestion for folks with Crohn's, and they have kind of gentle fiber for folks with Crohn's also. And again, if you're going to enjoy a drink like this, you should be in remission, or you shouldn't be in a flare, and you should be always talking to a medical professional before you change any kind of health regimen or your diet or anything like that. And so but now moving forward, we're working on our second cup. Pour in a kiwi, pour it into the blender, and now our third fruit is the tangerine, one of my favorite fruits in the world. And so now we're gonna pull our tangerine wedges all apart here, one at a time. And we're trying to get a good, an even cup of fruit here. And don't worry about the skins here. Those are all going to be taken out later. What we want now is get all that good vitamin C benefit of the tangerine wedges. And so now we're going to go ahead and continue pull them apart. And so I'm using about three or four tangerines here. And again, this recipe can be scaled up or scaled down, as needed. We could be, done this, one piece of fruit for everything, or 1 cup, or we can use, 6 cups of fruit for everything. And this would be really fun to do in a juicer as well if I had one. Goals. And so now we're going to add our lime juice. And so the lime juice is going to help balance out balance the flavor, enhance the flavor, and kind of control the sweetness just a little bit. And also to enhance the natural sweetness in the fruit, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of pure honey. So 2 tablespoons of lime juice and 2 tablespoons of honey. And then from there, now we're going to get all that in there, and this should blend nice and well here going forward. So you see, get all that honey in there. And now we're going to move over and blend until smooth, as they say. And so, give it about 10 or 15 seconds to blend. And now, when I was making this recipe, I learned something very much the hard way. Do not try to strain this mixture through a strainer. I tried 2 or 3 different strainers, and none of them worked. And so going forward, since I don't have a juicer, what I'm going to be using is a cheesecloth strainer for future recipes and future, and for future videos. So look forward to me trying new things. And so as I was saying before, I'm not an expert. I'm not a chef. I'm not any of these things. I'm just a guy trying new stuff. And so I am definitely still learning on the way. So you can see me here struggling and getting really frustrated. And but eventually I persevered, and we was able to get all the mixture into the pitcher here, which made me really happy. And because this drink actually turned out really, 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 really delicious. And so once I've gotten all this mixture pushed into the pitcher here, we're going to be pouring it over ice, to enjoy. And here in the video, again at the very end, I scrape the sides. So now we can pour over our ice. And again, this turned out delicious. It's a great color. The kiwi, the orange, the kiwi, the tangerine, and the watermelon came out great. And if you want to see more of this content, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you very much.